Thursday. Jim Miller, Pat Kerwin, got you for about 57 more minutes. And as promised, we are going to go out to the guest line. He has been providing quite a pass rush as a new Chicago Bear, 4 on the year for Willie Young, Bears defensive end. So let's go out to the guest line and say hello to Big Will and welcome him to Moving the Chains. Will, you're on with Jim Miller, Pat Kerwin, Moving the Chains, Sirius XM NFL Radio. Congratulations on the victory against the New York Jets. And, man, you've been providing quite a pass rush for the Chicago Bears. Talk about it.
Thank you. Yes, it's not a very good start from the get-go, but overall, we're sitting at 2-1 right now. I think we're tied with Detroit in our division and whatnot. But we got a great group of guys that was put together this year, man. And we're all eager, man, to get better each and every day with the veteran leadership that we have in our room also. I mean, from A to Z, man, everyone plays a big role.
Well, congratulations on the start, and congratulations for you because you made a career decision and left Detroit and stayed in the division, of course. Tell me about life playing opposite Jared Allen. It's like the convergence of the NFC North pass rushers. It's like a convention over there in Chicago.
Yeah, we got some great guys, man. Tell you what, having Jared in the same room is it's quite a task, man. You feel like you need to always step your game up because of what he's accomplished over his years. Well-respected player throughout the league. And just having him, man, I guess just having him sit a few chairs to my right in my meeting room, it means everything because I can sit here and watch him practice down after down, sit here and watch his game film, and I can actually, as opposed to being on a different team and watching him, it's like, how is he doing this? I mean, it's obviously not a mistake because he has 128 some sacks and just ton of sacks. So it's like, it's not a mistake that he's happened to find his way to the quarterback so often. And being able to actually ask him, on the spot, like, what are you seeing on this rush when you maybe when you took that inside move or when you decided to use speed around the edge? What is it that you're seeing and whatnot? And that's been a very big, that's been a big asset to my game this year, being able to step up and finish on pass rushes and whatnot.
And Willie, talk about stopping the run. It seems like you guys have done a good job since week 1 against the Buffalo Bills. It got better against the San Francisco 49ers, and I thought it got better against the New York Jets. And certainly Eddie Lacy somewhat burst onto the scene as a Green Bay Packer. I believe his first game was 150 against the Chicago Bears as you gear up for the Green Bay Packers this week. Talk about the improvements in stopping the run.
It's been fun. We got a group of guys, and like I say, we got a group of guys who has too much pride, and they take too much ownership into what we do individually. And when you have a group of guys to have that, in common, I mean, no one's willing to give up one for one. And we've been faced since week 1. We've been faced with some extremely good backs. That, in my personal opinion, they're all Pro Bowl backs. So we don't have any room for error. I mean, you got to expect these kind of guys to get out every now and then. You got to expect them to get out on your edge. You got to expect them to sneak one out the middle or whatnot. You got to do the best you can consistently to contain these guys and not let them get their momentum going. Because if you let guys like week 1 C.J. Stiller or freaking, I think, Gore, you let any of those guys, man, get out and get some momentum on you, it's going to be a long day for the defense. And it's not good when you can't make a very dynamic offense one-dimensional. It's very difficult on the entire team. I'm sure you know. It's just extremely difficult, man, when you allow guys like that.
Well, there's no doubt. But even last week, I mean, with no Jeremiah Ratliff in the lineup, I guess break down how did the young Bucks do when you look at Ego Ferguson and the other big Will Sutton, in terms of their play with the D-line rotation?
Today I actually got a chance to watch the film, and I saw how stout those young guys were in the middle. And all I could do is just, nod my head like, I love you guys, man, because that was some phenomenal ball you guys played on the inside. And you could tell the way that those offensive linemen, veteran guys, were coming off on those two guys on the inside. You can tell the way that they were coming off. They felt like they had because they had some young, inexperienced guys in the middle. They felt as though they could come off and just push these guys around. But like I said, these guys take too much ownership into what they do as a professional. And I tell you what, my hat goes off to those guys because, you go first, Ferguson and Will, those guys come in with the absence of Jeremiah Ratliff. And I mean, to hold up to,
well, yeah, Nick Mangold's no slouch as a center for the Jets. There's no doubt. I thought they played extremely well.
Absolutely. And that allowed the inside, the edge guys, that allowed us to be very creative with our rush game. It allowed us to get pressure. It allowed us to speed rush the edge because we knew we had those guys sitting stout and keeping some presence in those A and B gaps as far as the quarterback stepping up in those lanes.
Well, I got to take you back to week one. Week one didn't look good. And the fits of the defense, I was involved with most of the package you're in. I was involved with Pete Carroll and them and Monty Kiffin, a lot of the same principles. So I kind of understood it. Whatever happened after week one, the fits got better. I don't know. My guess was there was a simpler game plan, but it looked like everybody was playing faster and gap integrity was fixed. Is that a bad observation by me?
No, absolutely not. It's pretty good, actually. I really think that it all comes down to guys being able to be at an actual game where it actually counts, and seeing guys flying around as fast as they can possibly fly around, and being able to go back after that week one game and make those corrections. And I think we only gave up about two. You might have gave up 2 40-yard runs. I think it may have been.
It was right before half. It was Anthony Dixon, and then the big one to Fred Jackson that went to overtime.
Yeah, the one right before the half, I don't know if, honestly can't give you I honestly don't know if it just was, maybe we thought that they were going to go and take a shot, and they happened to sneak this run in because the guy that broke out wasn't C.J. Spiller. The guy that broke out he's a good back, but he wasn't C.J. Spiller, and I guess, I don't know, man, if we just might have fell asleep on that particular play before the half, but it definitely kind of caught us off guard, I don't quite remember the other one, but I do know we gave up those 2 big runs the entire game, and that was 80 yards right there. So if you take 80 off of what they actually had, down for down, our average, I think, would have been pretty good. It was just that, we gave up those 2 big runs, and we clearly understand now what it means to keep good backs like that from getting that momentum I just spoke about a little while ago.
Joined by Chicago Bears defensive end Willie Young, joining us on the program as the Bears are 2-1, get set to face division rivals Green Bay Packers at Soldier Field this Sunday at 1 p.m. And Willie, I know you love to fish. It's actually part of your sack dance. You're reeling them in, my friend. But Aaron Rodgers, he's an elusive one. He's like the white whale. He's Moby Dick. You know what I'm saying? In terms of sacking this guy.
It's going to be. I may have to go back and watch Jaws and see how those skippers try to get him to come up, man. He may be able to give me some. I may be able to take a few tips from him, So, absolutely, Rodgers don't like to come up for air once he's down deep, man. So, I got to do everything in my power and make sure that the young guys are ready to rock and roll, and that we collectively come together as a group and come up with a plan that's going to get this big fish out of the water.
Well, let me follow it up with this, because obviously you come over from Detroit. Certainly you're familiar with the Green Bay Packers, but I need you to talk about this from your perspective. I'm a former Chicago Bear, obviously. What that rivalry is, how it's different, say, from Detroit to now what you're hearing in Chicago. This is huge, bro. This is the most storied rivalry in all of sports, and now how differently it's perceived with you being a Chicago Bear facing the Green Bay Packers.
I don't know how to. I haven't heard this question yet, but I can kind of feel it in the atmosphere this week alone, getting ready to as we prepare for Green Bay. And I guess from Detroit, it was like, people live for that game. They live for that game, Detroit versus the Packers. But here, it's either life or death. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's nothing nice to say. There's nothing nice to say whatsoever. I don't know, man. It kind of feels like a playoff game in a way. I've been to one playoff game, and that was, it was night and day from a regular season game. Unbelievably, that late in the season, first playoff game felt like to me it felt like a Super Bowl game. But it kind of feels like a playoff game right now. Now, game day, it actually might feel like the Super Bowl game. I don't know what the Super Bowl game actually feels like, but just like I say, just the atmosphere around here it's insane right now. It's insane.
Yeah, and I once said this, and Jim told me I was wrong, but my brother's a big Bear fan, played at Illinois and all that business, but he once said to me, we were just talking football, and the guy knows a lot about it, and he goes, I think the Bear fans, me included, would rather beat the Packers than go to the playoffs. I go, what? So
yeah, I understand. Clearly understand.
Oh, it definitely matters, and it means a lot to the city, Willie, as you are finding out. Well, just what you're seeing from Green Bay, still talented. A lot of people think their offense is struggling right now, but that's still Aaron Rodgers pulling the trigger. As you mentioned, great running back in Eddie Lacy in the backfield, and maybe they've been off to a slow start, but these are some legitimate weapons with a great play caller and coach in Mike McCarthy. What are you seeing on the Packers?
It's going to be a very physical game. It's almost like playing a team that's outside your division. Yeah, you come to play and get your job done and get that win, get some stats and go about your business. But this game in particular, it's a little bit more than that. The Packers I know they're going to bring everything they got. They're coming out. They lost last week, if I'm not mistaken. They come off they come off their second loss. Two losses in a row from them. I think they lost 2 games in a row. Yeah. So that's tough. And I know Green Bay, with the rivalry that I'm hearing and it's within the atmosphere, it's like they're not coming here with no intentions on losing. And with that being said, Ed Lacy in the backfield and Rodgers being Rodgers, we briefly had this, the teammate and I briefly had the conversation today about, the Packers and just saying that, like you said, you got people talking about their offense struggling, but, they haven't just quite played. They haven't played a defense that wasn't, fit to contain their offensive threats or whatnot. It's just been that I guess they just haven't had stuff to fall in their favor to some extent. But we got to short the play because I don't think that their offense is by any chance any less than they've been in the past. You still got the same group of guys. They lost a few guys last year, but at the same time, the guy at the wheel, Aaron Rodgers again. He's an issue, and he's an issue at quarterback, and we're gonna have to be fundamentally sound and fit and ready to rock and roll when we get ready to play these guys on Sunday.
Hey, I'm just going to say this to you, Willie. You're a fisherman. Make sure you bring the right bait to get the big fish in the boat. That's all I have to say to you.
I tell you what, man. I can't tell you what I'm fishing with because I really think I'm going to have to dig deep into my tackle box. And,
there it is. Well, dig deep. We'll be watching you. Reel one in for us, man.
Keep up the good work, Willie. Yeah, we appreciate you joining us on Moving the Chain, Sirius XM NFL Radio. Good luck to you this weekend.
Take care, Will.
Thank you.
Willie Young, everybody, Chicago Bears defensive end. He's been a star. A lot of it is Allen. I think the defensive line interior has given those guys, like he said, a lot the ability to speed rush from the outside. We've talked about the freedom Mel Tucker has given these guys within the scheme of the Chicago Bears, and I think it's been getting better every week. They've got an issue at safety this week, Pat. They are all kind of banged up at the safety position when you look at the Bears.